found our page.
Yeah, right. It's funny how the algorithm works. Like, you don't ever think that it's getting directed to the people you think it's getting directed to. Rather, it's like you'll end up in like Southeast Asia, and you're like, how'd that happen?
Yep.
The mysteries of the internet.
Maybe that's how you become the best, number one in other countries.
Maybe.
Maybe that's how it works.
Maybe. I mean, you got to start somewhere. You think about back in the day. I mean, most bands that made it, like especially the ones over in England, they typically had like a Japanese tour before they went mainstream over to America, hit the charts, whatever it is. I mean, just watch Queen or Bohemian Rhapsody. It happened like that all the time. We've got a lot, not really, but kind of, to talk about. Before we get into it, welcome to the Snobby Boys.
I get those goosebumps every time. I need the hype. Throw that to the side.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Snobby Boy Podcast. I'm Colby. That's Joe. You already know. Joe, it's fucking international break, man. This really fucking blows.
Man. And you do get a little footy, but just the international footy is just not the same. It does not satiate the need like real football does.
That's perfect.
Brilliant.
Right off the hips of that.
Perfect.
That was fantastic. Evening, bruv. Evening. Oh, man. Yeah, international break. Fuck it. I guess it's a little bit. You know what? Yeah, boring stuff for sure. It has been, because I'll be honest with you, I really didn't look up the schedule of all the international games that were on. Frankly, I didn't really give a fuck. It's one of those times where it just feels like useless. You've just broken the momentum of every single team playing right now. And for what? For what?
Some Nations League qualifiers
I get
and
it,
semifinals and stuff. Like it's a created tournament just to make things like friendlies and international windows be allegedly more meanuful.
Allegedly,
but
no. It's all the football that's crammed into a year at this point.
Yeah,
we got Club World Cup. I understand that not every team is going to be a part of that, right? But we do talk about City here. We don't really talk about anybody else because fuck them, right?
Yes. What up, Steve?
What up, Steve? Broke the mold of all necrophiliacs. Here we go. Necro talk right up front. Hello.
Immediately.
Please don't get us kicked off YouTube. No.
Angeles, please.
Dress code.
I got my Manchester sweatshirt on.
Yeah, Terrace Cult. Got my new cowboy hat.
Love it.
And
especially this particular window on the American side anyway. This is smack dab at the beginning of the college basketball March Madness tournament.
Don't you bring that up, because I got words about your fucking team making it in the bracket. Don't.
So that's all the rage and excitement over here.
Right.
Is that, and then spring training is coming to an end, so there's a lot going on the American sports area, whatever you want to call it, landscape. There you go, the American sports landscape. Right? Where is he? Can't see him. Like John Cena. So it's hard to even get into looking for the games and who was playing when and all that for during this week. It was just I was just keeping a track. The only things I was looking at, I was just looking at any of the usual city accounts that will drop news just to make sure I wasn't seeing one of our guys going down with another injury. Knock on wood, because there's still a little bit of time in matches this evening. Yeah, so it's that's the only thing I was really caring about. I just want to look up and make sure our guys are healthy, and if they don't play, I'm actually okay with that. I'd rather than not.
More than okay with that. Yeah. Well, there's no match to review, so we're not going to do that. But we'll get into some news about the international break here. How about that?
Yes.
It's funny how you can talk and that's going, and the other ones you can't. It's weird.
Right? What's
happening?
Help us out here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll dive into some city news, and then we'll hit our halftime, and then bro out a little bit. We'll be talking about both of those things in a little bit, Steve. So save those comments for when we hit that piece, because we definitely we have those on. Again, hacking the notes. You show your colors early on
every time
in every episode. What we're going to talk about later on in the show. So first one that we had with the international, we're going to start with some international roundup for our boys in blue and their performances and when they were playing during this break. Big thing that popped was Macca had a peach of a game for the U21s. Unfortunately, it's not the senior team, but he scored early in the match and then later on set up another. So he had 2 goal involvements in that match. Rico also got the start in that match for England. Phil starts on the wing again for England in Thomas Tuchel's first match in charge.
They did it. Exactly. They fucking did it. It's them. And the fucking Russians.
Yeah, it's interesting what Tuchel did with the lineup, because and started Phil and Rashford on the wings, and then proceeded to tell everybody after the match that both of his wingers weren't in great form right now and weren't really impactful. That's their club form. So it's then why the F did you start them in those positions? You're telling on yourself for not doing a good job as a manager. I just don't understand. I guess if you want to give them some time to maybe catch fire and show them some love and some support, but play the dudes who are in form. And if those two are not the most informed wingers you got, put somebody else out there.
Don't play them.
It's best out there. Phil and Marcus are not dudes that are going to cause a stink with the national team about not starting those things. They know that they're not. Rashford, I think,
maybe Rashford
more so, but coming from United and the shit storm that place is, I kind of understand.
Right.
So it's just I just don't get the why. I mean, I get you want to bring them in and show them some love by starting them, but again, you can't then backtrack afterwards and say they weren't really impactful because of their club form. They shouldn't have been in the starting 11. Let them come off the bench.
Right. Give them a few minutes, but obviously you don't. They're not doing good in training. They're not your best players. Maybe you should find some fucking other ones.
And again, you have a wide pool to choose from. There are plenty of options.
We're not short
in the English.
Yeah, no. England is not short of that position.
And again, you're playing Phil out of position once again. He is not a winger. He is not. So, but they're who they are coddling to and catering to and saying they need to find the right system to fit his style of play, and that's Mr. Bellingham. Tuchel outright came out and said he's super impactful, super important for us, and we got to find the right system for him. But
Sounds like you need
Screw all the other players. Yeah.
Sounds like you need some knee pads. Tucci's making me feel a little weird. We've had, I mean, England has not had a good round of coaches in the last several years. I feel really bad for what's going on there because suffice it to say, there's a lot of talent in fucking England. There's a lot. And I mean, they range all the way from the 18 to the mature level. I mean, it's just like you have so many options, right? You know that you're at the end of the season with a lot of these guys that are playing club ball at the highest fucking level. Why not give some of your guys that aren't getting as much? Well, I mean, and that kind of puts us right back into saying, you know, Phil needs the minutes to get back into gear, but not when it's consistent change. There's no rhythm or rhyme to what's going on around him. It's just, oh, this is new. Oh, that's new. Here you are over here. Here you are back there. Like there's no consistency for him, and it's showing because he looks out of sort.
Mm-hmm. Huge facts. All of that spot on. So he needs time with us, not with England.
Yeah,
just trying to learn a new system that TT's putting in.
TT.
Pass. TT.
When I think of a TT, I think of an Audi TT. And I'm sorry, but that's a little bitch car.
Speaking of cars, that's going to transition right into our next topic for international break. Mr. Kushinov has had himself quite an international break.
Right?
The man
What's going
got
on?
married. Really dope video got released about his marriage.
Yeah.
Ceremony and everything. Very cool. Yeah. Gets back. As soon as he's back in the country, here's a G-Wagon for you. Blacked out, matted finish, very nice looking whip. Then he gets I guess time with the president of Uzbekistan. Gives him a Man City signed kit, getting his picture taken. So the man, yeah, exactly. He's 100%. He has become like the face of Uzbekistan in a very short period of time.
Yeah.
So the man that's awesome. I love it for him. He's having a great break, and then he puts in a shift. Typical from what we have come to expect from him in City Blue, but for his national side, had a really nice game against Kyrgyzstan, I believe is the team that he played. So Steve, yes. He seems like that kind of guy.
I don't think he's going to get it in his head. I don't. Yeah, his mentality. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're exactly what I was going to say. So that's fine.
Yeah.
So I think he's totally not that dude already, but he also has some sound influences around him with us that will keep him on level footing.
He has the sort of stoic behavior that one should admire to have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Level-headed. He's young. He already knows he's on the come up. I mean,
it's about that business.
Married. He just got married. You know, he's an honest man at that point. I think we have a good show of character in this guy. I think he's going to be a great role model for all the up and coming, soon to be and already City fans. He has the right display out right now.
Absolutely, super excited about his future.
Nice
Steve with the bars.
Dude, he's forever, dude. The puns are forever happening. What's up, Max?
Chaps. I like the use of chaps there.
Yep.
I like being called a chap.
It's neat.
It is.
Can we call him Sport?
Yeah. Hey, Sport.
What's up, Sport?
When you were little, tell me that didn't make you feel good when someone.
Dude, when my uncle did that shit to me, it right here.
You're like, oh,
yes,
that feels good. That feels nice inside.
Yeah. Good shit.
For whatever reason, it does. So, Today, Doku and Kevin both started for Belgium, and they both had an assist that pulled Belgium in front and got them back into where they needed to be. I think they won 3-0. So, sport chaps.
Is it? Is it though? Is
I've
it
not
Aussie?
heard that before.
I don't know. I feel like that's also like a early 1900s type of thing. First person I think of is like The Great Gatsby. Old sport.
Good book. There you go.
Fantastic book. Fantastic movie. Read it at least.
That too. Yes.
The Great
Absolutely.
Gatsby that we watched in high school, not so good.
Right? Yeah.
Not so good.
No. Not looking forward to that one when they rolled out the cart with the box TV on it
Not at all.
and VHS player. No. No thanks.
Good night, mate. That's Aussie. All right. Back into
I love it though.
back into the footy.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Kevin, Doku, big performances today. Good to see them both starting and being impactful in their time for Belgium, who have frequently had a just up and down performances for Belgium in general. Like sometimes look like the best team in the world, and then
Golden era.
yeah, exactly. Mucka. I've heard that one in some of the youth books that I read growing up, and the author was English. So, love it.
I need to hear you all say that. I just want to hear it. I just want to hear it in context. That's all. Yeah.
Rubes and Bernie started today also for Portugal against Denmark. Big milestone cap for Bernie. He reached his 100th performance, his 100th match played for Portugal today. So that's a big moment for any player who's participating in international footy. That's a big accomplishment, and you love to see that from him. Longevity and availability. You're always there. Your performances are good enough to keep getting you called in. That's a big moment. So gotta tip your cap to Bernie on that one. Just like that. Well done, sir. Per usual with Croatia, Joško and Kova started for against France for kind of pencil or write their two names down in ink. Anytime Croatia is having a match, they will always be there in that starting 11 as long as they're not injured. Holland played versus Moldova. I think they had a big number put up in their match, and he was one of the ones getting on the score sheet. So Holland doing what Holland does for City and or Norway.
5-0.
What up, house captain? What up, man? Yeah. I thought it was a substantial win. So
Massive. Last little bit of business. Marmouche started for England versus Ethiopia. I don't think anybody really knows how that one went. I can look it up real quick.
Yes, suffice it to say, we did not watch any of these matches. So this is just looking at who started. Did they get injured? Didn't have anybody. Knock on wood. Everybody do that. And
Egypt went. Never mind. Wrong one. Oh no, that doesn't look like the Ethiopian flag. Sorry, I know my flags. I'm pretty good at that. Oh, you just really. You're going to make me watch the highlights. You're not going to tell me the fucking score. Way to go, FIFA. Way to go, FIFA. Jeez,
jerks.
Jesus. I believe it was 2-0.
I would hope Egypt would have won that one.
Yeah, I believe it was 2-0 over Ethiopia.
So I think the big one this week coming up is Brazil and Argentina. I think they play Tuesday, I want to say. And Savinho, Brazil had a match last week, but he came off the bench. I hope maybe he gets a little bit more run, but we know how it goes with the winger situation in Brazil. Oftentimes it's here you play for Real Madrid, Rodrigo and Vinny Jr. So we'll go ahead and let you start the match, even if other people deserve opportunities to. So I hope he gets an opportunity to play. That Brazil Argentina, rivalry is humongous. Highly unlikely.
My man, nope. I'll never get over that thing. Ever. I haven't had a crush this hard since Britney Spears. Sorry, Meg. Sorry. All right. We all do it.
What 90s kid didn't have a crush on her growing up?
I mean, I would hope everybody says the right answer.
I would hope so too, but
there is a right and wrong answer here.
This is very true. So the boys still have a few more days away with the international break. They'll be back for us this weekend coming up. I think we're Sunday. Are we Sunday or Saturday? Back at the FA Cup.
I believe it is on a Sunday.
Yes, Sunday. So we're back against Bournemouth on Sunday at the Vitality Stadium. So away to Bournemouth in their cozy confines or tiny stadium. So hopefully the next few days everyone gets themselves together, comes back fit and ready to go, since the FA Cup is kind of our last real opportunity for snagging a trophy this year. So I think we'll see a very strong lineup come out for that one. I think Pep is prioritizing that competition along with obviously getting in Champions League spot. But it's right for the pickings in the FA Cup this year. Most of the other big dogs are out. On paper, we're the biggest name left. So I look forward to watching the match on Sunday, and then chatting with you all about the actual footy on the pitch that we all want to see, which is Man City, not all this international stuff. So next Sunday night, hang with us, and we will be reviewing that Bournemouth match. So exciting stuff. More City stuff, though. There has been a decent amount that has popped over the past week. Stuff, little tidbits to talk through. So allegedly, supposedly, depending on who you believe, reports came out that Bernardo is open to seeing out the remainder of his contract. I think has one more year on it. So staying with us past this summer. His name was one that has been brought up frequently of those who could be on their way out this summer in the refresh, rebuild, retool, whatever you or yours want to call it. So seems like, again, summer window wouldn't be the same without a little bit of Bernie. Is he staying? Is he going? Kind of news, because I feel like we've been doing that for the past 5 years.
Shit.
So for me, I'm down for Bernie to stay as long as everybody understands that his time as auto start, much like Gundo's, has passed, I hope, and he could be a very serviceable player for us as a utility role player that's going to come in and can help us in a variety of different places, but off the bench. I think we need to move forward with the likes of Doku, Bob, Savinho, Marmouche, and Foden in our central attacking and wide positions, and let our older players that do stay, we can't get rid of all of them. We can't just say everybody that's 30 or over is gone and just go completely with the youth. We got to have some veteran presence around. Bernie, I think, is a good one to keep around because he can help in a variety of places. So
yeah, exactly that. And I just want to say, on the contrary to all the parrots, I have said this before, and this is just confirming it, that Bernie was comfortable the whole time in Manchester. It just took some adjusting coming from Spain. And which one is he in? Fuck.
He went from Portugal at home to France, and he was playing with Monaco,
France,
and then
now he's up here.
in a
Right.
very like short period. Like it was like a 3 or 4 year time frame where he was living in 3 different countries.
Right. Thank you for France, Monica.
I got you.
Yeah. I just you can't believe everything that everybody says on the internet because unless you hear it right from the horse's mouth, it's cannon fodder. It's bullshit. I've seen that Bernie's heart has been here as much shit as I've talked this season on him. He is still a valuable player. I think we're all in an off season. I will continue to bang on the drum that when Club World Cup comes around, in spite of everybody saying, "Oh, the money," we don't need the fucking money. We don't. That's greedy at that point. We're just being greedy. So I think we need to take the summer, fuck off the Club World Cup, get back to business, get everybody back in the same the same frame of mind instead of I'm overworked and I'm not feeling it right now. They have gone on a long run over the last few seasons of nothing but playing. I think it's right time that they deserve that break. One trophy ain't going to kill us. There's plenty more to come.
If FIFA has mentioned like potential fines and shit like that for clubs who don't field their best players in this Club World Cup, I say bring the fine on and let all of our guys who have played nonstop through international windows and the 70 or so games that we've been playing through all these competitions that City have been in. Who cares if FIFA wants to fine us every time we don't field our best players? Let those dudes get a much deserved break, and for physically, but also mentally too. I think that's the biggest thing that's going wrong this season with us is just our guys are mentally exhausted from being on an ultra competitive mode for 4 or 5 years straight. That you have to be switched on for so long. There's only so long you can go as a person with that level of intensity before it's going to start crashing down and you're going to feel it, and you just don't have that. So mentally,
what's up, sugar tits?
So let them find us, and let's let those guys, whoever's still with us at the time that's been playing at a shitload of games, give them that time off. Let them relax.
If they have to field players because they're the big name players and they're the draw, they get 30 minutes max.
Yeah, then we're just going to start them off.
I know what I have ahead of me, and I'm not going to put all this fucking shit into this. I mean, the only thing that this is really helping do is build the game over here, which I'm totally with. I'm fine with that. I want that to happen more than anything. But then we also have World Cup the final or the year after, so it's like we're going to get 2 really big doses of football within a time frame that we've never had before.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not worried about that part. What I am worried about is the club and what's to come, because we're not in a sorted out type of place. This isn't 2 seasons ago. This is now. And right now, shit ain't working out so well. I would rather take the time off. I don't give a fuck about FIFA. FIFA ain't give a fuck about us.
Nope.
Be careful who you fucking give a fuck about. I guess.
Truth.
Right?
Ortega was also in the news this week. Talking about can't say what will happen. You know, stuff changes quickly in football and everything. Pretty much not committing his future to City, which is entirely fair on his point. From his perspective, I don't begrudge him that one bit. He, like we talked about previous episodes, is not young, but he's not really old for a keeper either. Mm-hmm. So for him, this might be his last real opportunity to get a run as a number 1 for a long period of time. So you have to respect that he wants that. And obviously we're looking to get younger across the board. We can't have 2 keepers pushing the wrong side of 30s. Ederson's right around there. Ortega's there already. So we obviously want to get younger at that position. So fair play. Like, don't begrudge you that one bit, because you said previously you want an opportunity to get first reps. So he's been consistent with that's what he wants. He stayed with us for one more year. He's not getting those first reps. So wish you the best, man. I hope you had amazing moments for us.
Yeah.
Just that's business world, and he's got to do what's best for him too. And like I said, don't begrudge him that one bit.
This is very true.
Going to look like a very, very different keeper room next year, I think, for sure.
Absolutely. And with that, I mean, we have to look to secure our future as the club. He doesn't fit into the framework whatsoever at this point, especially if we're looking to go forward. He's a post 30 player, and at this point, that's not on our radar. We have to get younger at this point. If we're going to sustain anything and build a team that's going to have longevity like most people like, all this change of player all the time doesn't really help the club at all. They have to get in sync together. Yeah, you're going to have a bad egg here and there that you have to switch out. That happens. But I mean, again, it's no love lost, and
Nope.
I'm fairly certain that the front office will let this go respectfully on both parties. That's how we do business.
Mm-hmm.
If you sour it, you did it yourself.
Looking at you, Joao Cancelo. It ain't on our side, that's for sure. Last Sunday's episode, there was talk in the chat about 115 verdict potentially coming out during international break. Now it looks like it's at least another, sometime in the next month or so is what they're saying. What they're really saying is you'll probably know at the end of the season.
Season, right?
That's what they're really trying to say. So at this point, it's just like, that's much like throughout the whole season. We'll know the verdict when it comes and not before that. So any speculation about when it might come, what it's going to be, is all that just speculation at this point. So let's react to it when it's here, not beforehand.
Right.
And also both sides are going to think going into this that they've won, and whoever doesn't win the initial verdict is going to appeal it. So it's not going to be a finalized verdict with everything wrapped up in a nice tidy bow as soon as the verdict comes out. There will be more lawyer talk, more appeals going on before we have anything finalized. So I get it's a talking point and people want to chat about it because it's going to have a humongous impact one way or the other on the club, but we're not going to know anything until it's actually released. And until we get that and we get, real news, it's just people talking about it at this point, just to talk. So
let's also use common sense thinking here, guys. A star player just signed a 9.5-year extension, basically signing his life away to this club. If you didn't think that there was a light at the end of the tunnel, would you stay? Probably not. I think you got to read between the lines. You know what I mean? Sometimes you don't see everything just because they wrote it out.
This one from Stu Chains, spot on.
Yep. That's very commonplace in media today, isn't it?
Yes. The Premier League continue, everything is getting delayed and pushed back on announcements because once again, this is the exact same thing that happened with UEFA trying to do this. It was the verdict's coming soon, and it kept getting pushed back because they know City are going to get vindicated here, and they're trying to do everything they can to grasp, like Ryan said, grasp at straws to not let this has happened. So look at what actually is happening, though. Like Kobe said, there are players who continue coming to Man City on long-term deals. You young guys, we signed 4 dudes in January for almost 200
We signed the
You
biggest
think
player on the planet?
Yeah. You think any of those guys are going to sign up for long-term deals knowing that there's a good possibility that we're going to get a massive points deduction and drop us down like 2 leagues? They're not going to do that. So just look at what's actually happening and use your critical thinking skills to infer what could, what should and what is going to happen at this point. So And Pep's not signing up for another 2 years also, if that's going to happen. So just use your minds.
Think about it.
Don't just read what is posted and believe it as gospel.
Don't be a parrot.
So, more in the rumor mill, Mr. Eduard Camavinga from Real Madrid, supposedly, no real true sources here, but something in the news was he was open to a move to Man City. This doesn't mean that Man City actually has him on their list. This just means he would be. Who wouldn't be open? Number one, especially for a guy at Madrid who seems to not be, consistently in the starting 11, and when he is oftentimes played out of position because of injuries, because of other things. He's had to fill in frequently at left back for them because he's a left-sided midfielder. Performed admirably there, but again, he doesn't want to play there. He would prefer to play his natural role, which is an 8 and a 6. We don't have a lot of those in our squad that are younger, that are left-footed, that have his athleticism. So I think it would be a good fit. I just don't believe right now that it's actually a realistic option. But we obviously need someone like him still to come in and fill some roles in that midfield. So I get why it's coming around, but I just don't think there's a whole lot to it, even though I would love to have him because he's a really good player.
There's something I want to say to what Steve Black said, but I feel like I would get in a lot of trouble if I said it.
More than likely.
More than likely. Yeah, you know what? On Camavinga, even with him being a versatile player, being pushed back to the defensive line, I distinctly remember, not vaguely, but distinctly remember, him being unhappy about being put in the back line. So I also question with the way that we do what Pep does ball, how well he'll fit into that locker room and with Pep's scheme. Because suffice it to say, we've looked around at our entire 23-man squad, and we've had several players playing out of their natural positions. Most notably, Mateus Nunes. He's obviously more willing. I don't think Camavinga will be. Even if that was on the table, even if it was something that they were evaluating right now, I don't know. And I think there's a lot of bad blood over the past couple of seasons with Champions League. Camavinga's tried to be a thorn in our side. I don't know how well he's going to be received immediately if he was to walk in the locker room. But again, this is all hypothetical. There's nothing close to set in stone. I don't even think there's vision on it. I think this is just footy insider doing their job, trying to make you go click, click, click.
Stirring the pot up. And even like, I have a hard time seeing having Madrid and City like doing business with one another.
Yeah, that just doesn't even like... We've
done business with Barca numerous times because of Pep's relationship over there, but I don't think there's a lot of eagerness to work with one another in like transfer deals between the two clubs because they don't really like each other very much.
That would be like, I mean, not to say that United and City haven't done business before, but it kind of feels that way. Like you just don't do it. You don't ship them to the enemy.
Yes.
Because they already know you. That means that they're going to be like, hey, coach.
Yeah. Other piece of transfer news but this time more directed to the back line and a more maybe realistic option. Daniel Munoz from Crystal Palace, supposedly being linked and added to our transfer wish list for the summertime. He's a 28-year-old right back, so a position of need. We know that particular position across the back line definitely needs a little bit of reinforcement. Not a high price tag considering his age. At 28 going on 29, you're usually not spending a very large fee on someone like that, unless your name is like a Harry Kane who's plays a premium position as a striker. So 25 mil, maybe not the best. For me, I'd like to continue the youth movement a little bit with the back line and find us someone, maybe not that's 19 or 20 like Vitor Hayes and Kushinov are. I think I'd rather find someone in that Nico Gonzalez age range, the early 20s to kind of fill in and come in and take that spot. So I think it makes sense, but I don't know if it's how true it is. Obviously, rumor mill always be swirling, and you gotta like that our front office is always evaluating. You know that they have a lengthy list of players to look at each of the positions of need. We saw a little bit of the behind the scenes during some of the documentaries that they have put out when Cheeky was in charge and running things. They would have a list of all the players that they have at each position, how old they are, how much time they have left on their contracts to start planning ahead in the future. So you know that they're doing their, I think Colby, you mentioned their due diligence on players that are of interest to them.
Yeah, I firmly believe that we have to have faith that they are doing their due diligence. Otherwise, we would have been filling these roles if the positions were there or the player was there for the position that Pep felt was going to be prosperous and actually provide value to the team. I mean, look at how quickly we signed Marmoush. Look at how quickly we signed Kushinov. Nobody really knew who the fuck that kid was. Same thing with Akanji. I mean, granted, yes, he was on Dortmund's back line, but before that, nobody knew who the fuck he was. And even when we signed him, people were still like, "Who the fuck is that?"
Right.
So, I have full faith that our front office is doing what they're supposed to do and doing the right thing, especially with how it pertains to our scouting. I mean, it's just we've not had a lot that has missed yet. You know what I mean? Barring Calvin Phillips. Joao Cancelo for his,
But even when with how bad it went, he was a very high impact player for us when he was motivated and engaged. So I wouldn't even consider that like a
5 seconds. 5 seconds. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. That was. I'm glad because that was a good question. I had a little bit of food before this, but I'm now ready for like actual dinner.
Right.
So that right up my alley. So it's funny that you mentioned Akanji because I saw, and because we were just talking about Camavinga and Real Madrid working, I saw, I can't remember which of the main city pages that posts breaking news and shit like that.
Extra.
But I saw allegedly from Marca, which is one of the big Spanish outlets, is claiming that we're offering Akanji to Real Madrid in the summertime, which is just like he's coming off a major injury, so nobody's buying him coming off an injury like that. No. And why the hell would we offer him up to them? Just like, hey, would you like to buy him from us? Why would that happen when he was our like most consistently healthy defender the majority of the season, unlike the rest of them?
Right.
It's just they just throw shit at the wall and see what sticks. It's crazy, man.
That's what Spanish media does. They will try to speak it into existence. And how many times has it actually gone down like that? And they've been proven wrong every time. Like, you should not be able to write after a few times. You're that wrong all the time. Oh, what do you want about?
I was just reading the comments. Talking about the Krispy Kreme, but also other food items are being thrown around too.
That's what I'm saying. When did we ever do direct?
Exactly. Yeah,
it's non-existent. It's literally non-existent.
Yeah.
Well, Steve Black rebuts that.
Well, that was 2008, 2009, maybe.
One time.
So that
one time. If you can find
very
more,
long time ago.
Let us know.
Very long time ago.
Yeah.
The point is, it doesn't happen very often, if ever. So it's not something that to really put a lot of weight in or take very seriously. So
right.
We had previously talked about the goalkeeper position, looking like most folks are either wanting or expecting a full reload at that position. One new name, not new, because when we played them in the Champions League, their keeper, Juventus's keeper, Michel Di Gregorio, is someone that was linked to us back then. Obviously, we were in the middle of Champions League at that time, but anytime we play another big club across Europe, people start speculating about which players Pep is looking at and wanting, and from that team that we're going to go play.
Insert Joshua Kimmich.
Yes, exactly. He is younger. I think he's in his very early 20s. He's good with his feet, as most younger keepers are now, because they come through idolizing the likes of Manuel Neuer and now Ederson, so they know they got to be good with their feet, because most clubs are asking their keepers to do more in the build-up play and with distribution. So he is good with his feet, very athletic. So somebody to definitely keep an eye on. But the reports are, again, reports, and I do that with air quotes for those on the listening side, is that Juve would want upwards of 60 million for this young lad, and that seems just a tad high.
A tad, Lloyd!
Just a tad high.
Just a tad. I mean, who makes up
that price?
Valuations?
Pass. Yeah, at that price, no thank you. And I get you got to throw a big number out in negotiation tactics and everything, but 60 just blew my mind. Even with the reset of like how expensive keepers are and just the market in general, that still just seems cray.
We're throwing out the old lingo. Here we go. The new lingo, actually. I'm sorry. My head's not right. I was in two different places.
That's okay. I understand. So the last little bit of City news for this portion of the show relates around the City women. We have our last of 4 straight versus the Chelsea ladies coming up this Thursday in the second leg of the Champions League. Kind of a roller coaster against Chelsea the past 3 matches. We lost in the League Cup final, then come back for Champions League and beat them 2-0, and then in the actual league today, right? Yeah, I believe so. And our ladies were not able to pull it out. I'm pretty sure there was a last stoppage time goal that Chelsea scored that was kind of controversial potentially.
Yeah, Cuthbert kind of walked it in.
Yeah,
so they had a nice little dink and dunk there in the box, and unfortunately, the ref had to go over to Nick Cushing on one of the plays into their end. He gave advantage, and it kind of fucked us a little bit. I feel real
gotcha.
Bad.
Yeah. House captain said he watched. Said we were unlucky.
Yeah.
So
that's such a nice way of saying it. So nice.
Right? Unlucky. So really weird stretch to play the same team 4 straight times across 3 different competitions. So just a quirk in the way the schedule worked and how things got drawn up in the Champions League draw that we got matched up against Chelsea in that situation. But it's just real interesting how the women's season has gone, because we have not seen the best I think the ladies have to offer yet, because of a similar situation that the men have been in.
Yep.
There's just been constantly players in and out of the lineup. Obviously, we know that Gareth Taylor has been let go, and we have our interim manager in now. So it's been a very rocky season for the ladies too. But getting the 2-0 win in the Champions League against them to give yourself a little bit of a cushion going into the Thursday match, because we know they're going to come out firing. They're a high-scoring type of squad. They're going to be going for it. I've been telling folks, because she's well known in Brazil, but she played over here in the NWSL for the last few seasons with the North Carolina Courage. She was a league MVP not 2 years ago. She is absolutely filthy. I've been telling folks that as soon as she was signed to us, she's fantastic. And once we get our squad together, healthy, and see our best 11 out there, it's going to be a scary squad to watch going forward. And it's going to be great for the WSL having this many names on City, but also because Chelsea's just, if you look down their starting 11 and bench, it's just a who's who of international women's stars. So having them dominate the women's game for so long under Emma Hayes, having another team that can challenge them and push them and kind of generate this kind of rivalry where they're playing each other in finals and Champions Leagues and competing for the title, it's just going to bring out the best in both clubs and hopefully help continue the growth, because we've seen a lot of growth in the women's game over across the pond and here on the state side in the NWSL. So it's great to see that both of these sides are doing so well, whether we win or not. So, oh my God. Steve, I love you, bro.
I'm getting some off chat remarks from our buddy right now.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Is sending it directly to you, or is he?
He said it was a direct message to me.
Dick.
He's a dick. I love him.
Yeah, and house captain, absolutely. Cushing, much better manager too.
Yeah,
you can already see it with the way the women are playing under him instead of Gareth Taylor, who was not getting the most out of the current squad. And Steve, same thing. There's a lot of young talent coming through, so they're set up for success for a long period of time. This isn't like a flash in the pan here. They're backed and supported by the best front office in world sports, but they're also super talented and will continue to progress and keep getting better. So lost my train of thought there for a second.
I saw the breakdown happen. Like it happens to me sometimes. I get it.
It's like, where was I going with that? Yeah. Oh, I'm back now. There it is.
There it is.
That's what I was doing.
Eureka syndrome.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Hey, that kind of gets us through the news. We're going to take a quick break, and we will come back and bro out. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I surely didn't. How'd that happen? No, I don't want that one either. We're going to have to get back to that. See, fucked it all up.
Bear with us.
That's all right. We're back. We figured it out. But, yeah. When we come back, we're going to... Why is it just now doing everything it wants to do? On its
big, baby. What up? Get a wider view of what's going on behind me in my wall here.
Right? Yeah, we get back. We're just going to bro out. We're going to talk just random shit. So stick around.
And with you guys.
Yeah. Hang out. Have a good time. Do what you do.
Shake it, but the done turn up the switch up.
fuck? Why did they do it again?
Did you see House Captain's comment about the technical hitch? I knew that Landon pick would play Epic.
Yeah, I didn't fucking line this up right. I had a spaz out moment, and I fucked it up for myself. So it's my fault. Technical error, Colby.
Shit happened.
Code error 404 CJ.
Give Colby a few minutes to cool down.
Yeah, it was 100% the Lawman pick, dude. I'm not even gonna lie. It was 100% that, man. Man, I just, damn, Douglas Luis, you son of a bitch.
Right? Lucky bastard.
Lucky bastard. Yep. Yep.
That part.
Called me out again. I'm trying, man. I'm trying. So
all we can ask of you, bro.
What's that?
That's all we can ask, man. Just doing your best, trying.
Just trying. Guys, we are 2 episodes away from our 100th episode.
Wild, man.
It's kind of wild. It's going to be interesting. I'll say that. We have some planning we're going to do for it this week, Joe. Mm-hmm. And we hope that you all will be here, and we hope that you will tell whomever, hey, it's our 100th episode. Come celebrate. It's going to be a party. Make sure you bring the booze.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's always good to be a good house guest and bring the booze.
Yes.
And then leave it, because then I'll finish it later.
Because we're providing the space. Y'all got to bring the other stuff. Simple.
It's coming. Maybe. I don't know. So yeah, that's happening, but we're gonna dive into our childhood a little bit on this one, which I'm actually kind of super excited about. This is definitely one of those topics that I've wanted to hit. Being that we have a slightly variant crowd, I would love to get the perspectives, or even to see if they know some of these childhood favorites. So
I'm curious to see what kind of youth sports movies they might watch over there. Because I'm glad that you were excited about that, because I kind of threw it in kind of nonchalantly a little bit as we were having technical note difficulties earlier on my end still. But J.O., Mr. Sir John Owen, kind of inspired me a little bit, because he sent me a reel or a meme on IG about referencing Mighty Ducks. The puck.
The Junior Goodwill games
that everybody knows exactly. So I was like, you know what? I need to rewatch those expeditiously.
Yeah.
Because it brings me right back to a good place and a happy spot. So we want to know, kind of, Mac, I see you through Field of Dreams. Think more like on the youth side.
Yeah.
And think like kid sports movies when you were little that you kind of saw yourself a reflection in. Think like Sandlot type stuff, where you're watching people your own age doing stuff. Mighty Ducks. If you want.
Mostly all the 90s, 80s, 90s kids movie, because that was that era.
Yeah. Stick.
Gloves.
Shirt.
Right. That does come in handy.
Woo, 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 Kenny Woo. We're also going to get a figure skater playing for the national youth, hockey team.
They had some characters on that second one.
You ain't kidding. The second Mighty Ducks movie, loved it because Julie the Cat Gaffney shows up wearing a Bangor, Maine keeper,
of course,
goalie shirt. I'm like, that's where I fucking grew up, man. Like Bangor is home for me. So seeing that on a movie as a young guy. Like Maine doesn't get a lot of pub. You don't, in the mainstream stuff. So seeing Bangor, Maine getting represented, and not just like Portland, because that's the big city there, or Augusta, which is the capital.
Right.
But seeing Bangor being represented in such a way, I was like, that's dope, man.
I'm coming, Connie.
Oh my god!
God, that was great. Listen, how they got Benny the Jet Rodriguez to play a
Right.
skater in that movie, and him be the speedy guy, right? After
Of
running on
course.
his
PF Flyers, baby.
I have a pair of them. I'll have to get them out of the attic and show you.
That would be awesome.
Dude, they're actually really fucking comfortable. If you like the the Chuck Taylor style shoe,
Mm-hmm.
they're way more comfortable and they have much more longevity than a Chuck. Definitely go get yourself a pair. They're like $80 now. But anyways, the fact that they got him to play that character and him be the one who can't stop on ice,
Right.
like I said, that was just an absolute genius idea to bring in not only all the different like ranges of the United States into the mix, but like the way that they just blended into the Ducks so well. They were all like individual Ducks out there that just found their home kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Super, super cool how they integrated into the second one. The third one is a little bit of a different disappointment because it really brought the real side of hockey out.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
When it
Going
comes
to high
to
school
hazing,
and everything. Yeah.
and the prestigious schools that sport, like literally, if you
Thrives on.
yeah, it literally thrives on those. If you go to a high end private school in Minnesota or Wisconsin or Jersey, New York, Massachusetts, you're more than likely Michigan. You're more than likely in that realm of I'm rich and I can be a tool because I'm rich.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, anyways, let's get into our top 3 favorite childhood sports movies. This is going to be extremely tough.
Yes.
Because again, we came up in the era of literally the best youth sports movies that were ever made. It's funny that we started off with the Ducks in child sports movies because that was literally one of my first.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of have to put that in my special place of number 1. I really loved hockey growing up, especially living in Pittsburgh. Having to getting to see Mario Lemieux and Yarmer Yager and Tom Barrasso and Paul Coffey and all these really good players that came through Pittsburgh in the 90s. And then afterwards, once Mario bought the team and Sydney kind of taking over the franchise and Mario actually literally passing the hypothetical baton to him on ice was super awesome for me and all of that. So I would definitely put Ducks up at the top.
Yeah. That one over all the other fantastic youth sports movies that we grew up with, I think gives me the most, like, gets me my feels the most when I rewatch them. Some of them I just enjoy, but like the Ducks, like it instantly, yes, I do.
Hey, Peter.
Still, it like instantly transports me back to like watching the VHS tape, like on my like couch in my family like living room multiple times. Ooh, Steve, that's
he brought up Cool Runnings.
I love Cool Runnings.
That's going to get an honorable mention probably.
Yeah. So Ducks are definitely in my top 3. For me, tough because there's, like I said, there's a lot of really good ones. But for me, growing up in the 90s playing basketball, Space Jam, the OG, obviously, has got to be up there in the 3 for me since basketball was my thing. I was a humongous Michael Jordan. Yes, the orange VHS tape. No bullshit. Awesome. Rugrats on the Rugrats movie on the orange VHS. Top notch. Space Jam definitely got me up there because my room was decorated in Michael Jordan paraphernalia and Chicago bullshit. Who doesn't like Bugs Bunny, obviously? Combining those two things with pulling in other NBA stars and making them
and comedy figures.
Yep, and bringing them all together, making them be like monstars, and they're taking their talents and shit. So I have still yet to watch the LeBron James version
You
of
ain't
Space
missing a
Jam,
motherfucking thing.
because that one holds a special place. I know R. Kelly is not. We don't really support R. Kelly no more.
We don't talk about
But you can't tell me when I Believe I Can Fly came on in that fucking movie, and young Michael Jordan's like, come on, man. Like, so that one, and obviously Michael Jordan holds a very near and dear place in my heart. My oldest daughter's name is Jordan. So
that part.
for me, most folks, it might not be. Is it the best? And this is not this is the best film. This is like for nostalgia purposes. I got to have them I'm in my top 3 also.
Let's go. Big Bamboo.
Love you still.
Big Bamboo.
Give me another one that's in your 3.
I actually, because I really can't decide amongst the 3.
Mm-hmm.
Baseball played a very big part of my youth. I played baseball from the time I was in kindergarten all the way up until high school. Baseball movies were something that I really connected with. So it's kind of like a 3-way tie of baseball movies.
Mm-hmm.
That being Little Big League, Rookie of the Year, and Angels in the Outfield, the remake. Now, if anybody doesn't know, the original Angels in the Outfield was actually originally filmed in Pittsburgh at Forbes Field. So yeah, that's in my second place at a tie, because like I love the whole Billy Haywood story. It really sucked seeing his grandfather die, but then he gets passed on the Minnesota Twins and he takes them all the way up into was it the division pennant?
Something like that.
They went up against Ken Griffey Jr. and Randy Johnson. Bro, that was
so dope. Seeing like the actual teams, the actual players and everything.
You read a little bit of backstory and Ken Griffey being a part of that. Ken Griffey was my favorite baseball player growing up. Barry Bonds took a back seat when he left Pittsburgh and he became home run king, basically. I felt like he sold out. And I understood why, just because of the ties and family and whatever. But Ken Griffey was definitely my favorite player of the 90s. And watching him stroke a ball every time was just
the sweetest swing that's ever been, man.
It really, really was. I mean, I was pissed though. As a kid, I was pissed because he was the one that did it. He was like, "Oh, that's my favorite player. He fucked over Billy Haywood. God damn it!"
And if I think I was, reading some, I don't know, this could be incorrect, but somebody posted a story about him being in that film where they really only had him for like one take, and he only got like.
I did.
Yes, he did. You're welcome, Steve Black, for the content that you're about to go through.
Yep.
But I read like they needed the ball to be hit in a certain spot, and they only had like 1 or 2 tries at it. And the first pitch, Griffey like put it exactly where it needed to be, and was like one take kind of thing. I was like, dude,
his swing
has kid,
so
man.
much swagger. His swing has so
much backward hat, his boot, his cleats, like everything. Just everything was so dope.
Yeah,
love him.
What about you?
3 is so tough. Like just going to 3, because like you got all-time American classic Sandlot.
Oh shit. I'm gonna just. I'm sorry. 4-way tie. 4-way tie. 4-way tie. Oh my god, I feel like such a prick.
But like Little Giants is also like phenomenal. So, but I'm not gonna cower out and just. I would probably have to go with Sandlot and Little Giants as an honorable mention, because I only played baseball for like half of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So I appreciated the camaraderie of like the backyard baseball and your buddies in your neighborhood going out and playing. Yes, that right
Dude,
there.
this is why we're friends. I play
Yep.
Ray Charles every time the fucking fireworks go off on the 4th of July. We need to have 4th of July together now. Bingo, bango, bongo.
Yep. So I would probably have to throw them in there. We got to do this with like sports documentaries down the line too, because there's so many like
so many good
phenomenal ones.
I just rewatched Air. I was
so good.
Yeah, real good.
So I'm gonna go third of my top 3 is The Sandlot because of the brotherhood of those kids, and that's how it felt like it was growing up with the guys in my neighborhood playing sports just in general. And we didn't really go play a whole lot of baseball, but street hockey, basketball, football, all those kind of things. I think I'd throw that in there for me. So Sandlot, Space Jam, Mighty Ducks, those probably are the ones that I still like will stir my emotions. Even though Angels of the Outfield I cry at almost every time I watch it still.
Dude, well, I mean the deep storyline of the foster kids and all that stuff, like it's super touching. Not to mention we grew up with, what's his name? Christopher Lloyd through Back to the Future being kind of like a put on a pedestal a little bit, if you will.
Yep.
So seeing him be the angel was really, really like just awesome. Number 3, man. Number 3. Again, I mean, to Wendy Peppercorn was a babe. She still is.
Legendary move.
Absolutely. And he married her and had Let's go. He made it count. He sure did. I think number 3 for me, I'm having a really hard time deciphering whether it's Little Giants or if it's Cool Runnings. I would like to put Space Jam in there. For me, what they did with the second one, they kind of tainted the whole thing. I think they should have just left it alone. I'm clearly not a LeBron fan. Considering that the timetable in which Jordan accomplished all of his is in far less time than what LeBron's is, I just don't know if I want to put that in there. I'm probably gonna have to go with Little Giants. Growing up, football around you, everywhere you look, especially living in Pittsburgh. There's a small little connection to the movie that Pittsburgh has, and that's that Ed O'Neill, who played the Cowboys coach, he actually was drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers and didn't make it on to the actual team. But he does have ties to Pittsburgh as he is from the area. So that was like really cool that he took the whole, like that small town feel where, the guy that comes from the small town, he becomes the hero and there's statues of him everywhere and he's got his own fucking restaurant and shit. I liked how they kind of, they put that idea in there and knowing how deeply rooted he actually is into the game of football. And then not only that, but Rick Moranis' story and the way that he played that.
I love Rick Moranis.
I have so much respect for him as an actor and what he did in leaving Hollywood because his wife was sick. He felt it was more important to take care of his family. Another part of the Little Giants that I thought was really cool was that in the storyline, because Rick Moranis was a widower right during the filming of that movie, they actually changed the storyline around about Becky's mom, that she, instead of her passing away in similar fashion to Rick Moranis' wife, they just said that she kind of did the whole I'm going out for a pack of cigarettes type shit. So I thought that was super cool.
Absolutely.
Definitely Cool Runnings, though, is my honorable mention. I think that's such a good...
Sanka.
I think it's funny. It's relatable. It's an underdog story. And everybody loves to see that. I'm like... I have to.
What's a '90s movie talk without having like John Candy in there at some point?
Right. Exactly.
I personally, there was a comment they were talking about. Steve and House Captain were talking about Escape to Victory. That was a little bit before our time. I just looked it up. That was came out in '81. Is what the Google machine is telling me. So I have not seen that. I like what I'm seeing already just from the quick Google search here. So I will definitely be checking that out and seeing if I can find it on one of my streaming services for free. If not, maybe do the whole rent from YouTube or something. But
Right.
It's a footy movie set in World War II time. It looks like.
Oh, that's neat. I'd be into that because that's one of my favorites.
Michael Caine's in it. Pele's in it.
Shit! I'm definitely watching it now.
Sylvester Stallone is in it.
House Captain just said he's in goal. Let's go. I'm watching this.
Stallone. Oh, hell yeah, dude.
You're going to have to get into that this week.
Yes. So we will find that faux show.
I think another good honorable mention movie, and I actually just rewatched it again finished rewatching it with Aiden this weekend, was Miracle, about the story of the 1970 Lake Placid Russian U.S. A hockey team and them going up against the CCCP, excuse me, and then finishing it off against Finland, and an absolute comeback underdog story. Super impressed with Kurt Russell's performance as the coach in that.
He was great.
He got me emotional.
Hell yeah.
He got, especially after that win against Russia and him going back into that corridor by himself and just having that moment on him. Like I understand where he was. I understood where he was at. I felt that so deep, but still, Pele and really, that's fun. That's fun.
Right.
Yep, I'm definitely watching. Let's go.
We will find Prime Video. Gave it okay. Yeah. We're
Yes, Stu. That was so dope when they did that for the fucking Four Nations. That was so cool.
On the kids side, for me, honorable mention is a Disney Channel original flick, and it's not a regular old
sport
movie. It's a my guys across the pond will probably have no idea what I'm talking about, but you and Stu definitely better. Brink is absolutely in my fucking
let's go
honorable mentions. It's a skater, rollerblading skater
inline
movie.
Skate.
Yeah. And that movie I watched anytime it was on Disney Channel and I was watching TV and it was on, it was instant turn on, click, and watch.
Yes.
And now that it's on Disney Plus and I can watch it whenever I want,
right?
It's absolutely fantastic. Andy Brinker, Team Pup and Suds against Team X Blades.
The guy from Little Giants that played.
Yes. Spike
Spike
was Val. So dope. So Brink is more X Games than like team sports, but it was absolutely phenomenal. Love that movie.
To jump on that same exact wave of Disney extreme sports, Johnny Tsunami.
Dude.
Johnny fucking Tsunami. The second one was absolute shit, but the first one was such a great story because right in that time, I was kind of getting like real deep into snowboarding, and I was starting to see the skier mentality versus the snowboarder mentality, and I was like, this is fucking perfect. Such a good movie. Really need to watch
the urchins against the what was the other ones? The ski guys were, I can't remember what their nickname was.
I can't either because they were such pricks.
Yes. You know what's another random connection there? As far as like actors go, Johnny's dad was the villain that Danielson went up against in Karate Kid 2.
Shut right the fuck up. That's hilarious.
Yep. And then
I did not translate that.
Then the actual Johnny Tsunami, so his grandpa was Mortal Kombat.
Yes, he was Shang Tsung.
Yeah. Skies. Thank you, Ryan. Yes,
The
the Skies
Skies.
versus
There it
Urchins.
is. See, that's a gay name. Sorry,
So,
I said it again. Oops.
yeah, but so many like dope connections, and Johnny, those two, phenomenal.
Yep. Funny that and again in that era, not sports movie related. Smart House.
Mm-hmm.
We watched that the other night, or last weekend with Aiden, and he was like, "Can houses do that like now?"
Just about,
kind
yeah.
of basically.
We're not far off from having it like that. Totally.
We're not at
So
all.
astute observation, young man. Well
Yep.
done.
Yep. It's so wild to look back on those movies and think we thought that was like really good, like digital effects and stuff like that.
You watch it back and you're like,
Even he was like, "That's fake."
this is what we had to work with back in the day, dude. Like,
this is the best we got. Oh man. What are your guys' favorite sports movies? Give us a 1, 2, 3 if you want to. I know we only hit the youth one, but there are definitely plenty of sports movies out there. Little Rascal count. Race cards.
race cards. Hey, why not?
Well, I mean, ain't nobody gonna say that Darla wasn't cute as shit though when we were kids.
Alfalfa.
That. How'd he get her?
Right. He was polite, and she liked that, and he doted on her.
Yeah, but then she went after Waldo, who was a complete asshead.
I've got $1. I've got $1. I've got $1. Hey, 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 hey. The He-Man Woman Haters Club.
I'll give you a nickel for that pickle. Rookie
of the year, top 2 or 3 for me. Brickma, yeah.
Hot ice. Yes. If you know, you know. When I heard that, I was like, is he talking about Icy Hot? Like,
hot ice.
Hot ice.
No.
I think they also called it Ben Gay when we were kids.
Yes, they did. 100%.
Clearly got off the market. Yes, Waldo Aloysius Johnston. He was a massive Johnson. Yeah. You guys got any more for us? Steve? I know Steve's still...
House Captain, I think, is still around. What are some y'all's fave sports movies? Give us any more recommendations too. You guys put us on a good one with Escape to Victory. So
yes,
to
be honest, I've seen for the most part all of the hooligan style movies at this point. So those are already taken off the table. Have you?
One more time.
Have you dived into the hooligan movies?
No,
they're just from different eras. They don't have any connection to each other at all. They're all different. I have to look up the list of them because I really can't remember them off the top of my head. They've all been pretty good. I'm sure some of the guys in the comments from across the pond will know. But there's this one. Fuck, it was pretty good. No, I can't remember. I'm just gonna look up hooligan movies. The Firm.
Yep.
Should have been that easy. That's probably one of my favorites. Green Street's still pretty good.
House Captain's phone or computer or whatever he's watching is fucking with him, it looks like.
Oopsie daisies. The Damn United. Is that a doc? Yeah, that one's pretty good. The Ultras. That's 2020. That was from 2020. The firm's from back in 2009, but it's set back in I think the 80s. I haven't seen Rise of the Foot Soldier. That's one I'll have to. I've seen the Hooligan Party. I thought it was shit. I'm gonna have to look up Hooligan.
Right.
On
So
Tubi.
that's the Burt. Yeah.
Green Street, far and away, is one of the better ones. Even though I don't know, I'm gonna redact that statement a little bit because it's still really weird to think of Elijah Wood as beating up somebody.
Right.
Charlie Hunnam was great in it. I really liked how he played that part, and a few of the other guys that were in the firms. Away Days is another good one too. Football Factory, yeah. The Kiefer, Jimmy Grimble.
Just go back down. Nice. So figured theirs would be
a link there, Bob. For us, at least.
Yes. Yeah, well, I'm looking on YouTube right now, and I don't even see it anymore.
I think it's
this message retracted on my side, so
I think it's bullshit that you like. For some reason, you can't watch or find Green Street anywhere. You can find 2 and 3, which are garbage.
Can't find the OG.
You can't find the original. I don't think they allow it in our. I think
they restrict things like that.
I think they're censoring us.
Apple Music does that shit too sometimes. Where you can't.
I also get that when I'm on social media too. Like somebody will put a song up and they'll say it's not available in your country, and I'm like, the fuck.
Documentary film. Definitely my all-time favorite sports doc is still Hoop Dreams.
Wow.
If you have not seen, follows a couple of kids, basketball players in high school from Chicago as they journey through their high school careers and follows them all the way through going to huh?
Is it like Dwayne Wade? No, I'm sorry.
No. This was like 90s.
Oh, okay.
And follows them into like their collegiate careers and things like that. It's gives you a real look into what their lives were like and what a lot of other young basketball players' lives were like, with coming from the inner city and then like getting recruited to go to like ritzy private schools to play basketball there.
Yeah.
And seeing like, if you're the star and the favorite one, you get a lot of extra treatment and special treatment from like the head coach and a lot of doors open for you. But if you don't perform, you kind of just get thrown by the wayside and don't get a lot of help, and then have to like, one of the kids stays and plays at the ritzy school and the other one has to go back to like the inner city schools and continue and plays really well. But it's just, you get to see the difference between the two boys and the support system that they're given and how it affects their like basketball journey. It's fantastic. Ryan, I see that the new Beckham doc on Disney Plus was fantastic. It's him helping out
him and Victoria, right?
No, this is him like sponsoring and taking ownership
of Salford, or not Salford,
of a youth team, and helps them out. Save Our Squad.
Yes, I've seen that.
Beckham.
I've seen that.
Yes, not Bend It Like Beckham.
That's Keira Knightley.
But yeah, that one got me like real emotional. So I feel you. See, now y'all gonna make me be up all night watching sports documentaries now.
Right. Might go back and watch All or Nothing.
Can't go wrong with that either.
No.
Ever go wrong with those?
No, just to give me that re-inspiration. I think a lot of us feel pretty uninspired right now with everything that's going on with the club. But I mean, we just have to take it for what the fuck it is. That's at least how I'm rolling with it. Because if I sat here and fucking got myself all worked up over something that's out of my control, what am I doing? Just being a little bitch.
Well, Ryan, you did not watch Wrexham.
How do you not watch?
What the hell
Wrexham
is
dog?
wrong with you?
It's
It's on Hulu, dude. I know you have it.
I was watching fucking documentaries on pirates because the rum.
Why is the rum gone?
Why is the rum gone?
Funny. Steph was looking at getting Elliot some new soccer headbands for when she's playing. And she was looking at getting one with the pirate logo, like the Jolly Roger on it, to be like super badass. And then she found another one that was Mighty Ducks related again today, where it was the Bash Brothers and it was like all skulls across, like the headband that they wore. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Like I was literally, because I told her like John had just sent me a Mighty Ducks, meme earlier, and now she's finding a Bash Brothers headband on the site that we use to get the headbands for the girls. So that's why it happened. So I think we're gonna grab her that Bash Brothers headband.
Cool. That sounds cool. One. Now she's got to find somebody to Bash Brother with her.
Yes.
She
remember she little number 2. I think if you remember her.
Yes.
Her, got it. Them two.
The Stomp Out Queen.
Yes. That's the thing with the girls on her team. They don't start stuff with anybody.
Yes. Correct.
Yes, that is correct.
Well, for 2 of them. He was in all 3, but in the third one, he was
a bit part, pretty much.
Yeah, he played his original role from the beginning, where he was a lawyer or he was part of the DA's office in Minnesota, and he went back to that and ended up going to court for the school going to court for them against the school that was trying to basically
that he went to
program. Yeah,
that was his alma mater, and he was helping.
That's
keep
right.
Them in.
That's right.
He was keeping them at the school.
That's right.
So, but he was not the head coach. It was a new guy,
and I think he was a former player too. Former player.
Yes,
in the story, not an actual former player.
Turns out that he quit to, again, much like Rick Moranis' storyline, quit to take better care of his daughter who was in an accident and was bound in a wheelchair. And then you see that little moment. The movie itself, not obviously the same, but seeing that little moment where he's skating around with his daughter on the ice in her wheelchair, that was
a great moment.
Dodgeball, can't go wrong. Fantastic choice.
Dude, he's in my phone.
Dude, I told you he's hacked it from across the pond. That was definitely Ben Stiller. That one of his more legendary roles. Lots of legendary roles for that dude, but nobody makes me bleed my own blood. Nobody. Yes. Trying to do pirouettes and shit and getting smashed by the Iceland players, thinking you're gonna be cute. All fancy.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's funny that Steve brought that up because Aiden, like I told you guys this weekend, he asked to watch Dodgeball. It wasn't like hey, do you want to watch it? It was, Dad, can we watch Dodgeball? Yeah.
Can't believe it.
Yes.
Legendary guy there. Love some Rick Moranis.
She was cute. Let's be real.
And she wasn't like the rest of the Iceland folks. She was actually
hell no. She
those kids got their feelings.
Explaining that it isn't in 2 ways. She was explaining that Greenland is ice and Iceland is very nice.
Very nice.
But really, she meant that all the people from Iceland are really nice, except for those dickheads.
Except for that jerk off coach,
Wolf the Dennis Stanson.
Chopping Gordon Bombay's knee in a pickup shootout.
You're literally double his size too on skate. Right? Yes, Ghostbusters.
Yes,
Ghostbusters.
Steve is showing his age because he knows all of these films from the 80s. But
but that's also me. That was.
I know them all too, but Steve was awfully quiet about the movies that we were talking about in the 90s. So
true,
which is okay.
True.
which is totally okay.
Honey, we shrunk the kid. The sequel had.
Yes, he was. I think so. I think that kid was in the second one. There was a 3. There was the Blue and White kid too.
So the second one is Honey, I Blew Up the Kid, which had Kerry Russell and the guy who plays Nick. That's not Alfalfa. Whatever. I'm not even going to think too hard on that. Honey, we Shrunk Ourselves. Yeah. So okay, then maybe he was. Kim Cattrall. I can only think of her as being in Sex and the City. Howling Kim. I feel like that's a porno movie.
Going back to Ryan's search engine.
Yeah.
Yes.
John Candy was Cool Runnings. He played a washed up Bob Slatter who helped his team cheat in one of the Olympics and cost them the medal, and then became a clear stoner and drunk
down to Jamaica. Ran and hid in Jamaica.
I'm 1,000 miles from ice.
There you go.
Yeah. You guys have any more good fun in there? There's 50 people in here tonight, and there's only 3 people talking. That's wild. No Google. Howling Kim. You know what? I'm going to do it now.
I'm good. You got him to bite. Dude.
Don't challenge me.
Back to the Future, all-time great movie right there.
It is
damn near a perfect film.
Literally Robert Zemeckis' most finest work. I mean, he did Forrest Gump, he did a few others, but like Back to the Future was far and away my fucking favorite. I mean,
absolutely phenomenal.
To think that we're probably that close to having time travel. It's really wild having seen like all the years of thing like if you look at the second one and you compare it to the 2015 we saw, there was a lot of that shit happening. It's almost predicted, right?
Yep.
The only thing that they didn't really do was the Inside Out genes, which I'm really glad that never caught on because that was stupid. But like, remember when they brought back, or they didn't bring back, they actually produced for the Nike Force, whatever the fucking
the shoes that he had. Yeah,
bro, I wanted a pair so bad. You can't find them anywhere for less than $25,000.
Yeah. Yep.
It is mine as well. I believe I sent you the picture of the plaque I have of the 3 movies. I have 8 stills from each movie and the signatures of Christopher Lloyd and Michael J. Fox. And it lights up. It's like the flux capacitor. It's super cool.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
MC and Porky's. See, now you guys are really showing your age. We're going down the National Lampoon's route. Porky's was one of those movies where I asked several times to family members and my parents alike if I could watch it because everybody seemed to have a copy. And I was like, well, it must be good. And they were like, absolutely not. And probably for the betterment of my mind, I didn't see it till I was later. I was a little bit older.
Yes.
I dream about this almanac about once a week. Yeah, too bad that's... I mean, listen, we could literally write a history book of sports, and then if we find a time machine, go back and say, ha-ha! But I don't like betting.
That laugh. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, 1 and 2 were filmed back to back in some scenes. So, yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I've watched all those docs. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes. Zemeckis at that point in time, I mean, he was literally on his last legs and he made that thing work, and it has been a absolute culture classic. Lassie, is that why you guys use it over there? Is that how that came about? I honest question, not me being cheeky. Honest question.
Just a little bit cheeky.
Just a little bit.
Denny, this punch has some tequila in it. Yes, it is
Tequila.
cheeky.
Tequila.
Yeah. I think you took that guy's wallet. You took that guy's wallet.
Yeah, he took that guy's wallet. He repeated himself like 3 times.
Who hasn't seen Porky's? House Kevin just said you have to watch. We all. I'm hoping we've all seen it. I'm assuming Ryan has seen it.
I've seen it, but I don't think that I actually realized that Kim Cattrall was a feature in that movie.
Have to.
I just remember it was Belushi that was in that one. Yeah.
Yeah, she was also in Police Academy. Yeah.
Yes, that's another one that was a favorite of mine growing up. I love the Police Academy movies. I love the 5th one because it was in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point in time when I had just seen
so many.
When I had just seen the Miami one, it just turned out that we were going on vacation to Miami, so it's super ingrained in my brain. But like Steve Guttenberg, what's the dude that makes all the noise effects? I think his last name's Winslow. He was hilarious back in the day. There's a couple of other ones.
Michael Winslow, yeah.
Michael Winslow, right?
Good call on the last name. Good pull.
The guy who played Captain Harris. I love the scene in the 5th one where he fell asleep out on one of the tanning beds on the beach, and they literally put tanning oil, put dickhead or something.
Yeah.
Or no. What was it? Hold on. Police Academy 5. It wasn't dickhead.
Not Carl Winslow, Ryan.
Dude.
Love Family Matters, though. Stefan Urkel.
Dork. It was Dork.
Yeah.
Dork. Hey, Dork. Hey, Dork. First Police Academy. No, dude. Let's step by step. Animal House. Animal House was the one with Belushi.
Yep.
Yeah. There's. I'm not going to say it out. I'm just not going to say it out loud. What is Blue Oyster Bar? This one's been said twice.
Oh, it's the fictional bar in the Police Academy.
Oh, and Blues Brothers. Okay, now I have to say it since it's being brought up. I have connections to a particular person in this genre of movies that we're speaking. I will not say whom. To not sound like a complete tool bag, but then also because I don't like putting that business out there. I think it's kind of weird. It's a weird flex when people do it.
Some people love doing that shit.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
I 1000% agree.
The gay bar, yeah. Oh man, all I'm thinking about is like how like back in the 80s in Chicago. Being that we're talking about all those guys, Chicago is kind of like a central point for all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Chicago house and all that stuff, which is how that got put over there. All the house music, by the way, if you didn't know your music history. I'm a bit of a music savant. I'm not as good at with sports. Me and actually J.O. were having this talk earlier about how I have he says that he has sportism. I said I have musicism because I had sent him a track from Limp Bizkit, and he's actually a Limp Bizkit fan, and it's one of their new ones called Dad Vibes. And he's like, how have I not heard of this? And I was like, it's their new album. It's pretty good. And that's kind of where that whole went down. Hightower and Hooks. Yeah. Dude, his obsession with guns.
Yep.
He could not put that revolver down whatsoever. No. Put it away. Trading Places.
Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd.
Yes. Another one. Tackleberry. Yeah, you're right. Hightower was big tall guy, and
Yes. Yep.
Hooks was the one. She had the squeaky voice. Tackleberry, right? Yeah, dude. It's honestly a good album. Pretty decent after being away for almost 20 years. Well, not really, I guess. More like on maybe like 10 or 15, but all the same, yeah, it's actually pretty dope. Dad Vibes is he made that track just for us. He did. He really did.
Yep. 1000%.
Oh, you've heard it.
Yeah.
God bless you. Love you.
Love you too, man.
See no evil, hear no evil. That is that that's Ed Gein. Doesn't Kane play him?
I think so. That sounds right. That sounds right.
I might be just combining stuff in my head at this point. I mean, it's almost 9:00. It's been a long week.
Hour and 46 minutes.
We're up an hour and 46 minutes, and we're just waffling all along.
About movies. See, we appreciate y'all.
See, okay,
y'all get us. Y'all get us, because this I could spend entirely too much time just rattling on and prattling on about movies. So
Blazing Saddles.
Yes.
They were so prior, far and away, one of the best comedians that has ever come out of the States. He's still one of my favorites. I like watching some of his old stuff every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Just him and Murphy.
Genius.
Yeah. Back when comedy was comedy, right? When you didn't have to worry about saying shit and people getting offended. Take your soft feelings and shove them somewhere. Bring comedy back. That should be my new slogan.
Stick it where the sun don't shine. That was
Mitch Hedberg. He was a 90s, early 2000s gem for us.
His delivery style, very funny.
Absolutely epic. Yeah. Old comedy, bring it back. This new comedy sucks. It's not funny. It's kind of funny if you like really, boil it down and condense it, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it's just washed, like almost like, when like your Christian friends growing up would try to tell like a soft joke and they thought it was really funny and you were just like, bro, what? Theo Vaughn's still funny though, even though he's sober. He knows how to be himself. And he's raw as shit. I like him. Scholes is another good one too.
Yeah, I like him.
Sounds like Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving sounds really good right now. Off of what you're saying, it does sound really good right now.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see Kreischer was on Joe Rogan just a couple of days ago? I need to watch that one. The last one I watched was Joe and AB, and I think everybody if they watched it, probably lost their head realizing that AB is not the crazy the media has made him out to be.
I have not seen it either, so I can't speak on it yet.
Give that one a whirl. Gillis is good. Scholes is good. Yeah. Bring good comedy back. It's time that people just had a laugh and realize that we are who we are. There are things about each one of us culturally and personally that it's okay to if you're able to make fun of it and laugh at it, great, because then it makes it funny for everybody. You know what I mean? Instead of feeling like you're like under this microscope that you might slightly be racist if you laugh at something. Bullshit.
Jokes are jokes.
Jokes are just jokes. Good to see Rogan finally woken up. I think he was already kind of there. I mean, there definitely were. I'm not going to go too far into that level of talk. Maybe on another show I develop we can. But I think he was always kind of there. He's definitely more so a free thinker than I think that people give him credit for. But honestly, him going the route he did with whom he had on, it was perfect timing. And if you really watched that and you really did it from an unbiased standpoint, you saw true authenticity right there. That's where I'm going to keep that. I'm not going to say names. I don't want to rile nobody up. What do you guys think of Ricky Gervais? Another one, free thinker. His jokes are always spot on because it's the truth. Sometimes the truth is funny. It's all about, I guess, I just don't want to call anybody out and say the wrong thing and piss nobody off. Especially not here, not right now. Everybody's in a fucking fragile state. And it's just not worth the hassle that comes with it. But I think we're all on the same level, which is good. Ricky Gervais, he's a real one. I like him. Did you get butt itch?
Pardon it. I did. the top of the tush.
Yep. I feel it, bro. All right, guys. Listen, we've been here for hour 50, almost 2 hours. Appreciate
That's wild considering there was no match to review.
Literally. Yeah. You would have thought we would have only been on that first 45 minutes, especially after I hit the credits to roll. But super glad to have you guys around, as always, hanging out with us, all the other 50, whether you're bots or not. Thanks for chilling out, listening, having a good time with us, maybe having a laugh. Hopefully you did. Until next Sunday, where we'll be reviewing the FA Cup match against Bournemouth, we will leave you with, I don't know. I don't want to keep playing the same ones. Joe Pickett. You get a pick.
Trust the process.
Good word. Here, Joe. Where you at? Well, Moss Music.